Like, the thing is, being a chaplain is so, it can be so very um, just exhausting. I don't even know what word to use. And so it's just been a lot of stuff going on. I'm working on a case um, that is a lot. It's a lot. But tonight I want to talk about something different. So do me a favor. What I want to do right now is I'm going to share the video real quick. Let me see if I can do what I'm trying to do with it. I may not let me. No, it's not going to let me do it. Um, but anyway, so tonight, real quick, I need to talk about these sexual predators in the church because I'm just like, what in the world? Oh yeah, I'm gonna put that up there. Like what in the world is going on? Because so many children right now are being molested, and you know, I'm like, with all the women that we have on the earth, and men have more of an advantage than we do because it's way more men than it is women. Um, with all of what they have going on, and I'm like, for them to go around and start messing with children, like that's something that like really gets under my skin. Like it really, really gets under my skin. So I wanted to come on and talk about it for a few minutes because there's been some articles that have been coming out about um, the the priests. We're gonna talk about the church because that right there just like really got under my skin. But let me share this video first. Let me share this. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a good week, and can't believe it's almost Thursday. Can't believe this month is almost over. Taxes and all that kind of stuff. I'll just be glad when April is over because I don't like this month. I really don't. I think because it's tax season, so I just don't like it. But do me a favor, make sure you share the video. Some of y'all probably like already gone to bed because you got to get up and go to work tomorrow. But for me, when I have really long, kind of crazy weeks like I've had, and it's just the middle of the week, sometimes I just get on here and I just talk because that's like therapy for me to get on here and really talk and engage with people. So so sometimes I get on here and I just rant a little bit. I have not done a Facebook video in so long. Like, who's texting me right now? Let me see. I think so. Let me check. Yeah, so I have not done a video in a long time. So this time I just want to do this video and I want to really talk about this situation. Somebody's texting me. As soon as I can ready to do a video, somebody's texting me. But anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about is this thing that just came out about the Dalai Lama. Um, this thing that just came out about the Dalai Lama. So okay. I'm going to call you. I'm doing a video right now. Love you. That's my that's my other play son was checking in on me. So anyway, I want to talk a minute about the I want to talk about the Dalai Lama. So y'all, let me tell you about this story. And this is the thing. Like I be telling people, I don't care. I don't care who you are, okay? And I was always like this, even when my son was little, when my son was a baby. Like you're not going to just walk over and play with my child and do all these different things um with my son and I'm just standing there looking goofy. Okay, you're not going to do that. And so it's crazy because I'm reading and hearing all these stories about parents, like you're literally standing in the background, and this I'm gonna call them I'm gonna call him a pedophile, but this person. Now it says the Dalai Lama apologizes after video shows him kissing a boy. Okay, so let me just read to you what it says. And I was just like, let me read what it says because I don't want to put my words into it. I'm gonna get on him in just a minute. Okay, but it says Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, apologized Monday after a video showing him kissing a child. A child. It doesn't say like teenage, but a child. Okay, so y'all keep that in mind. Kissing a child on the lips triggered criticism. The statement posted on his official website said the 87-year-old, now y'all know he know better. He knows better, okay? The 87-year-old leader regretted the incident and wished to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused. Now, listen, let me just stop right there. Let me just stop right there. Because here's the thing. You are an 87-year-old grown man, which means you've been on the planet way longer than me. Okay. You know that you have no business kissing a child in the mouth. I don't care if it was your grandchild, your grandbaby, your niece, your whatever. You have no business at 87 years old putting your mouth on another child. Let me continue. The incident occurred in a public gathering in February at the Sugalug something kind of place in the temple where the exiled leader lives. He was taking questions from the audience when the boy asked if he could hug him. Okay, he knows the difference between this man should know the difference at 87 between a hug and you kissing a child. The Dalai Lama invited the boy up toward the platform he was seated on. In the video, he gestured to his cheek, and I didn't play the video because I don't want my stuff to get pulled down. But anyway, you see it in the video where he's doing like this, and he gestured to the boy, like kiss me on the cheek. After which the boy kissed him, and then the boy gave him a hug. All right, the Dalai Lama then asked the boy to kiss him on the lips. And check this out. Kiss him on the lips and suck. Y'all hear me? And suck his tongue. The Dalai Lama can be heard saying as the boy sticks out his own tongue and leans in, prompting laughter from the audience. What was funny? What was funny? I got two screens going on here, so that's why you see me turning my head. What was funny? See, stuff like this really makes me mad. The footage triggered a backlash online with social media users condemning his behavior as inappropriate and disturbing. SNAP, the National Advocacy Group for Victims of Clergy Abuse, said they were horrified. And I don't know why they horrified, because a lot of these pastors in here victimizing the parishioners. But that's a whole nother story. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. But SNAP, the National Advocacy Group for Victims of Clergy Abuse, said they were horrified by the Dalai Lama's actions. Our primary concern is with the innocent boy who was the subject of this disgusting request by a revered spiritual figure, the group said in a statement. Sticking out one's tongue was often used as a greeting according to ancient Tibetan culture, but it's not commonly seen anymore. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way. Listen at the words they're using. Innocent and playful way, even in the public and before cameras, the statement from the Dalai Lama said. The Dalai Lama has made the hillside town of Dharamsala his headquarters since fleeing from Tibet after a failed uprising against Chinese rule in 1959. India considers Tibet to be part of China, though it hosts Tibetan exiles. Now listen, my question is this. Where were the parents? Was the mother, was the father there? Did the boy go there by himself? Did the boy just show up at the place by himself? Because I have questions about that. And the fact that they said there was laughter in the audience, what was funny? Because I promise you, chaplain and all, if I have a child and I'm bringing my child up to meet you, pastor or reverend or whoever. I'm bringing my child up to meet you and greet you. And you kiss my child on the lips and then tell them to suck your tongue. Sir, let me tell you something. Chaplain and all, I will snatch you up out of there so quickly. Your head is going to be spinning, and you will never ask anybody else to suck your tongue, not even an adult female. That's how bad it's going to hurt. But for people to be sitting there and they're laughing, and you know, I guess to them it was okay, or maybe they looked at it in a playful way, but there's nothing playful about messing with children. Ain't nothing playful about that. And I'm saying that as a person who has been molested by an adult. There's nothing playful, there's nothing funny. And, the parents, I think they should do something to the parents. I don't know what they do over in their country. I don't know. But I think they should do something to the parents. I think the parents should be held responsible in some kind of way for not going over there to get their child. It's just so many questions that I have. Did you talk to your child when you got home to see how they were feeling, to see what they were thinking about this man actually telling him to suck his tongue? Sir, you are 87 years old. This is why I have a problem with this whole thing of I'm married to Jesus and I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, and so you're the pastor, the priest, or whatever you want to call yourself, and the women walking around and they married to Jesus, when in fact some people just need to get married, or some people just need to go ahead and have sex and get it over with. But all of this stuff, you married to Jesus, and you know deep down inside that you got some sexual tension and some sexual problems. And so the only ones that you can mess with or try to, get that frustration and that tension out on is the children, the most vulnerable ones. And those are the ones that you go and mess with, the children. What I don't understand it. And then people are sitting around and they're looking at the Dalai Lama doing this. You're looking at the Dalai Lama sitting there, telling this little boy, kiss me on the cheek, oh, suck my tongue. I'm telling you, that man would have been all the way wherever he came from if he had done it to my child. And I don't even understand, at the moment that he put his lips on that child, it should have been somebody, some adult in that audience that stepped up and stepped to him about doing that or pull the child back. All of these people, they sitting there looking at it. Like I'm not even understanding where people's minds are at. So that was the one thing I wanted to talk about, because what I want to say to the parents is that I don't really know what's going on. See, this is a different day and time for me, because I don't understand how you just allow people to touch your children and do all these things in front of you. My son showed me something today that really shocked me, where the parents were actually texting their daughter on how to have sex with this man, and she was like 16, and you're texting your daughter on how to have sex and how to do this and how to do that, the mother and the father. And it's just, what are y'all thinking? I'm so confused of what's going on and why people think this is okay. And that's why when I look at the world, it's like, I'm looking at the world and the stuff that I grew up being taught was wrong. It's like it's right. It's nothing wrong with it at this point in time. And so I guess it's okay for a grown man, of his stature to tell a child, and like I said, they said child, they didn't say teenager or young man, they said child. And when you look at the video, you clearly see that it is a child. So how inappropriate for him to tell this child to suck his tongue. I'm done with that story because I want to like punch him in the face. So I'm done talking about that. So let me go to this next story, which is another one. Like this story is really no surprise because we've been talking about this for years, but now all of a sudden, people are waking up to this particular story and they are talking about it. And the story I'm talking about is what came out earlier this week, where the Attorney General released church sex abuse reports into the Archdiocese of Baltimore. I live in Baltimore. So it's been this whole thing that's been going on. I'm trying to get my words together, where they have been, looking into allegations of sexual abuse in the church. And listen, this right here is talking about in the Catholic Church, and it's talking about the Archdiocese of the Catholic Church. But let me tell you something. Sexual abuse, that predatory behavior goes on in pretty much all the churches. People don't talk about it. People are afraid to say something. And it's people all over the place who are doing stuff that's inappropriate and a lot of these people are in the pulpit. I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. They in the pulpit. And these are conversations that need to be had, but nobody wants to talk about it. And I don't have a problem talking about it because it is wrong. And a lot of times the ones who fall victim to it are children, because they know that children are not going to say anything. They know that their children are vulnerable. And so they can say certain things to make the children afraid of even opening their mouth to say to their mom, their dad, or whoever that, I'm being victimized. So it says the Maryland AG Attorney General releases church sex abuse report into the Archdiocese of Baltimore. Listen to this. 156 current or former Catholic clergy, seminarians, deacons, teachers, even the teachers at the Catholic school, and others. This is what the report is about. So the Maryland Attorney General's office reports detailing the investigation into the Archdiocese of Baltimore reveals decades, y'all, decades, and we already knew this because we were talking about it, but nobody wants to go there, so they haven't been saying anything. But it says their report revealed decades of child sexual abuse and leadership efforts to cover it up. So the leaders of the churches knew the abuse was going on. Reports were being made. People were telling people in charge, at some of the schools, at the what are the Catholic churches? I don't know if they have a special name for it, but saying that these priests were abusing them. And nobody's listening. It's just continued cover up. Nobody's saying anything. So now the attorney general has gotten involved. And they said today, the attorney general said today is a day of reckoning. The attorney general is not playing. He says it's a day of reckoning and a day of accounting, because this has been going on probably, oh my goodness, like for years. I'm thinking about my age. Like, it's probably been going on so long, and they've been just covering it up and covering up. And the attorney general said that more than 300 people had contacted the office since they even started the investigation. About 300 people have called, and they're going all the way back to 2018 in investigating and pulling up stuff. And this is one thing that I read that it said what was consistent throughout the stories that people was telling them was the absolute authority and power these abusive priests and the church leadership held over survivors, their families, and their communities. And the report seeks to document this long and sordid history. And so, and listen to this. And this is why I said I was thinking about my age, because this report is saying that it had received so many reports of sexual abuse, and it goes all the way back to the 1940s. I wasn't even thought about back then. All the way back in the 1940s. And so they got all kinds of records. I mean, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of documentation. I'm reading this on here, and this is from hundreds of survivors, relatives, and even people who witnessed the stuff that was going on. And let me say this. Let me fix my dress as I say this, because you don't never know who's watching. They be looking all down your dress and everything. But let me say this. This is why I said a few minutes ago, like, I don't knock anybody's religion. I don't knock what you believe in. But all of this stuff about being married to Jesus and being married to Christ, and you the wife and you the priest, and all of this, if you know that you cannot contain yourself and keep your penis in your pants, then you need to go ahead and step out of that robe and whatever the other garments are that you wear, and you just need to go ahead and walk in your manly form and go on out here and get you a female, and get you a wife or girlfriend or whatever, and be with that person. You know, the reason why it bothers me so much is because I was a victim of abuse, sexual abuse. I actually call it rape. Okay. I don't call it molestation and all that. I call it rape, because you did something to me that I didn't ask you to do and I didn't give you permission to do. And so these people have the absolute power and authority. And then a lot of times, because they are priests and the nuns, yeah, I ain't gonna leave y'all out, or type of clergy, because you are that person. A lot of times people look at you, they're looking at you on another level. The people praise you, and I know that from being a pastor's daughter. Y'all just be doing the most, okay? You just be doing the most. And that's probably why I drifted off into my own world, and I created my own world, because that whole pastor's daughter life and wife and all that y'all be doing the most. And you try to mold the pastor's family into who and what you think they should be and how they should operate, and sometimes they fall into that mold and they feel like they're the greatest thing. you know that's why I just look at everybody the same way, whether you could be a star, you could be this or that. Listen, I don't run behind names. I don't. And so you have children who, and let me say this, I'm working with people who are adults who are currently in a situation where they now have to revisit what happened to them when they were 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, from the pastor or the priest or these other people abusing them, and nobody said anything and nobody was talking about it. And now all of a sudden they have a voice and they're able to say something. And then they're not only that, they're finding out not only did that pastor or that priest or clergy person abuse them, but now they're connecting with other people and the same thing happened to them. And so I start to see, you start to see, even though these are 30, 40, 50-year-old men and women, because it's both men and women, you start to see how they revert back to that 10-year-old or that 11-year-old when this thing happened, and you see just how traumatized they are and how they've held all of this stuff in, and all of a sudden it's coming out. And some people are so overwhelmed they don't want to talk about it. Some people are so overwhelmed they commit suicide. Some people are so overwhelmed they're depressed, they can't function. This is something that does not go away. Now, while they getting off on their little sexual pleasures of messing with children, you don't understand how this affects people into their adult life. I'm one of those people. And, I had to learn through therapy how to function. Do I still have some issues? I sure do, from what happened. But it's better than it was. And I'm able to function. I'm able to move forward with my life. But for me, for example, it was hard for me to even think about a relationship, because I got too many stipulations. I got too many rules. because I got to make sure that you don't do anything to me and you don't take anything from me. All of that goes back to what happened to me. And so, again, there were and are some parents who knew even back then that their children were being touched, molested, fondled. And I've had some parents, I just say, Lord have mercy. I've had some parents who will say, well, yeah, I did know about that, but that happened, 25 years ago. He 40 years old now. Why he still talking about it? And I'm just like, really? That's what we doing? That's what we doing. So because he's 40 and it happened when he was 10, he should not have any feelings, no recollection. He should just go on with life like ain't nothing happened. And it's sad. And this is why these pedophiles go off and do what they're doing. Because they know the church people will cover up for the pedophile before they help their own family in some cases. And in a lot of cases that I've seen. And it's just really sad. And I just wanted to come on for a few minutes and talk about it because I'm going to try to talk about this a little more. But I'm glad. I'm just coming on to say a couple of things. I am glad that it's coming to the forefront. I don't care if you are 95 years old, because they say what you do in the dark is going to come out in the light. My grandmother used to say what you do in the wash is going to come out, and it's like, you probably thought, and how many children have you touched or molested, and you probably thought, well, it's okay, it's okay. Nobody's ever going to find out. Well, like the attorney general said, today is the day of reckoning. This is not happening anymore, not on their watch. And I'm so glad, because all of these people who did what they did, you've had a chance to live your life. You've had a chance to grow, explore, laugh, have fun, while you've left a trail of broken people who've had to learn how to figure out how to get through this life with all of the hurt and pain that you placed upon them. So I don't feel sorry for none of them. I can forgive you, and I would tell everybody to work on forgiving them, because forgiveness is not for them, forgiveness is for you. So I would say work on forgiving them. Do I feel sorry for them? No, I don't. And whatever you get and whoever they pull up and they take them in that courtroom and they slam those bars or whatever, when it's time for you to go, I have no problem, saying goodbye. See you later. Because to mess with our most vulnerable, which I consider the elderly, the handicapped, the mentally challenged, developmentally delayed, our children, to mess with those people is wrong, because you already know you have the upper hand. And then you say things to the ones that can understand. You say things to them because you want to put some type of fear in them, so they don't go back and say anything. And then something came across my page today and it was like on the news outlets, and it was showing different snippets of, I'm going to say George Bush. Not George Bush. What's his name? The President Biden. It was showing different snippets of President Biden around children. And I'm like, this man he touched a little bit too much. And see, I was always one that I had my eye on mine, because if I think you doing too much, or if I look at his face and he got a funny expression on his face, I'm going to deal with you right then and there. It ain't no going home, let's pray, none of that. I'm going to deal with you right there. So you understand, don't do that to mine anymore. And so today it was circulating, like even on Twitter and I can't get my words out. When you Google it, it was showing him and all these different snippets where he is around children and the children, and he was just like rubbing their face and touching their hair, and then had his hand around one of the little girl's waist. She looked like she might have been about maybe 10 or 11, and two of the girls looked so uncomfortable. Now I don't know if that was their first time around him, and they just felt a little uncomfortable. But I think, as girls, and as they start to mature, as girls start to develop, they get some feeling like if something ain't right. You start understanding, knowing something ain't right with this situation. And so they were showing some of the little girls in the video, and they was just like kind of like this. Again, parents completely oblivious to what's going on. They so busy looking in Joe Biden's face and his wife's face and all the other stuff going on, and then we get to take a picture with the president, that you don't even see that your daughter is uncomfortable in that moment. Parents better wake up. It's just a new day. It's a new day. I'm not with all of this. I'm not. And if I had a child right now, I'm still not going to be with it. I don't care if it's a new day and it's a new time, and you can say she's a mean parent. You can say whatever you want to say. Don't put your hands on my child. Do not. Don't put your hands on my child. Don't touch them inappropriately. Don't be talking about, let me kiss you, let me hug you. And I also see, a lot of times in at church, a lot, little girls, they running up to the deacon or whoever, and they sitting on his lap. No. And like I said, people can think whatever they want to think about me, but my baby, you got 2 legs, stand on your 2 legs. You don't need to be sitting on nobody's lap. Not at the church. And not anywhere, really. And any man would kind of shoo you away and, push you off. But you have some people that are just pedophiles and sexual predators inside of the church house. And I don't have a problem speaking on it. And I am a chaplain. I don't have a problem speaking on that, because it needs to stop. And this is you seen what I just read a few minutes ago. That was going on back in the 40s. Way before I was thought of. My parents was way before they were they born? They were kids. And this stuff was going on back then. Messing with children. So I just came on to tell parents, look, get your head out of wherever it's at and focus on your children. Nobody should be making your child feel uncomfortable in your presence nor out of your presence. If they come home and they say that the teacher did something, or this one did something to me, you need to be down at the school trying to figure out what was going on. Because the problem that I see now, everybody on social media, they doing this, that, and the third. Focus on your kids, like you jump on social media, like you jump on Twitter and TikTok and all this stuff. And then stop putting your children, man, I ain't even gonna go there, but I be on social media a lot. And I see parents dressing up their babies. I'm talking about babies. It's just learning how to walk. They got long earrings on and the belly out, and they got them holding a purse, and they showing them how to walk. Now, what are you teaching your children? And do you understand that you are putting your children on display with pedophiles sitting back just like this, watching everything that you're doing? And they don't even have to come for your children. You're putting them out there. It's just really sad where our world has gone, and why everybody's so comfortable with being careless. And I'm gonna use the word careless when it comes to children. And then we wonder why when the children grow up, why are they acting up? Why are they out of order? Maybe you need to sit down and have a conversation with them. Maybe somebody did something to them that they weren't supposed to, and maybe they've been waiting for you to come and ask them what's wrong. Maybe that's been going on with your children. But I just had to come on because I am so sick and tired of hearing story after story after story about people messing with children in the church. And then you want to get up and preach a sermon, or you want to get up and do communion, or you want to get up and pray. No, I don't have no words for you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to be at your church. You need to go somewhere and sit down and get your life together. And like I said, with all of these women, especially in the Black community, it's way more of us than of the Black man. Something got in my eye. Than the Black man, it's way more. And so the fact that you going out messing with children, you out of order. It's a whole bunch of women out here looking for a man. It's a whole bunch of single women out here. But then again, who wants to be with a predator? Messing with children, nasty, nasty. Messing with children. I don't even, it's like I said, I don't have no words, and I'm a chaplain. I can forgive. But whatever comes your way for what you have done, I ain't going to be in the courtroom fighting for you. And I'm not going to be feeling sorry for you. If you don't know what to do with your penis, then you need to go get some help. If you don't know what to do with your tongue and your mouth, because maybe that's the way that you get off, you need to go get some help. And that Dalai Lama, 87 years old, and you don't know that your tongue, is not supposed to be in a little child's mouth. And some people might get mad at me for what I'm saying, but oh well, y'all go ahead and get mad. Somebody got to speak up for the children. Somebody got to say something. Because anytime you're sitting in the audience and you see that this man is saying, kiss me on the cheek, and then he kissed him on the lips, a child, and then he's telling the little boy, suck my tongue, and you sitting in the audience, they say the people in the audience was laughing. Something wrong with all of y'all. Something wrong with all of you. And the only ones who suffer in the end are our children. And we see all of the dysfunction when it comes to our children. We see all of the things that our children are getting involved in. We see our children going out here killing other people. Children are committing suicide. Children are doing all kinds of stuff. Did you ever sit down and have a conversation with them and find out why they're acting up? Probably not. Because maybe if you sit down and had a conversation with them, you'd be able to kind of figure out why they're going in the direction that they're going. And sometimes the children have more sense than the parents. So anyway, that's my little rant for tonight. I just wanted to come on and talk about that. And I want to encourage the parents. I don't know why I have to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to encourage you to watch your children. Watch your children. Stop leaving them with this person and that person and trusting this person and trusting with your most precious gift. That is the most precious gift that you can have. The most valuable gift that you can have is a life, the life that you made, that you get to mold and you get to shape and you get to watch them grow and blossom. And you sitting here with blinders on in the name of the church. I love God. I love God. I love God. And I definitely, am faithful and all of that kind of stuff. But then if I see that something is wrong and you're messing with children, especially mine, you're going to be dealt with. I'm going to take this as far as I can to make sure that you are dealt with, put behind bars, however long they can put you behind there. We're going to keep you back there because you ain't going to do this no more. But I don't know. I told my son one day, I said, I don't know what's wrong with the world. It just seemed, I said, maybe they must be dropping fentanyl from the sky while we sleeping. Cause it just seemed like everybody just, they just buzzing around and they see crazy stuff going on and they okay with it. I never thought I would see anything like this with these eyes. It just blows my mind. And I guess God said that's why I'm not gonna give her no children in the 2000s. Because I mean the 2023 and all that, I ain't give her no children because she is going to hurt somebody. It ain't gonna be no laughter, no nothing. If I send my child up to that altar for prayer, all you better be doing is praying. And my child's 27. He a grown man. If he coming up to pray, or if you want a hug, go ahead and give an appropriate hug and going back to what you're doing. All of that extra stuff. And then this is my thing. See, when you continue to allow this to happen and happen over and over again, these people get comfortable right in your presence. They get comfortable with what they're doing. And this dude was so comfortable that he did it in front of a whole bunch of people watching him, messing with a kid. Cause he's comfortable. Cause he already know you're not gonna say anything. Now, had I been there, I would have been the one who jumped up and probably grabbed the little boy and asked him, what are you doing? You don't see that this is a kid? Because for some people, they try to do things on the low. Sticking your tongue out, sucking your tongue, that's a sexual pleasure for some people. Just like the foot fetish. Some people like they get off on looking at your feet, playing with your feet. You know, and so he can do something like that on a low because it makes him feel good, and everybody else sitting back. No, if you want to get off, you're not going to get off on my watch. That ain't happening. And so I just want to get on here and tell everybody to pay attention. It doesn't just have to be your child that you're looking out for. If you see something going on and you see that it's inappropriate, or if a child comes to you and they're telling you in their own way as best they can that something happened, or that person over there, male or female, didn't make them feel good, you have a duty and a right to find out what happened. Go tell their parent. You got to alert somebody. You can't just walk off and act like it didn't happen. And all of them people that they doing that investigation for, you can't tell me that all of them people since going back to the 1940s, that not one person didn't know some of the stuff that was going on with them people being molested. A lot of them priests knew that the other priest was molesting. They was covering for each other. And nobody thought to say anything. Now they old. And I guess they want forgiveness so they don't have to go to jail. Wheel the wheelchair right on in there. Go sit up in there. Cause you have lived your life. And people might think, oh, you chaplain, you harsh or whatever. No. Wheel them right up in there. Let them go sit up in there. Do some time. Even if it's your last days, go ahead and do your time up in there. Because of the hurt and the pain that you put on other people. It's people in their 50s and 60s. You sit there, you try to talk to them about what happened to them in their life. They're so still so shaken and traumatized they can't even talk about it. And these are people that are educated, they got a family, they done raised their children, the children are doing great, and they're doing great to a degree, because when you go back and you start talking about what happened, they're so traumatized, you see them, they get stiff, like they just can't get it out. And these people still praying and communion and all this. Listen, nope. And I'm so glad that it's coming to an end. because y'all done played long enough. Not only played with people, but you played in the name of religion, perpetrating, and also as a clergy. Because as clergy, you gotta really be committed to what you're doing, and you're literally taking an oath to God that I'm going to do what I have to do to serve the people and to help the people grow and mature and know who you are. So you already know God is not pleased and God is going to deal with you. But then I'm okay with the law dealing with you as well. Because you had no business, not near bit of business, messing with children. So that's all I have to say about that. I just wanted to come on and do my little rant because I'm gonna tell y'all when it comes to the children, don't tell me nothing about what happened to the children because that's a little difficult for me. And I will sit down and talk about it and say something about it, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, just keep scrolling, because I'm definitely going to address it. And I'm going to say it again. If you don't know what to do with your hands, go get some help. If you don't know what to do with your mouth, your tongue, go get some help. If you don't know what to do with your penis, go get some help. And stop inflicting your 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 um your insecurities and all these other things that's going on with you onto other children. Stop it. And then there's women out here who doing the same thing. If you don't know what to do with your hands and your mouth and manipulating people and all that kind of stuff, go get some help. Because I promise you, and let me tell you something, when they say what goes around comes around, it's going to come when you least expect it. Because you thinking you got away with it because years and years and years and years have gone by. And you're going to find out that when you least expect it, karma is going to be walking right up on you. And you're going to have to deal with that particular situation. It's not a laughing matter at all. There's nothing funny about what's been done to these people. Nothing. And I talk to them all the time. People who are hurting from going through these situations. Adults. And some of the children so traumatized they don't even know how to talk because they can't even explain what happened. You got to get them to draw pictures and all kinds of stuff because they don't even know how to explain it. Take your nasty self and go get some help because that's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. I don't even I don't have any more. I don't have any nice words to say. You're disgusting if that's what you choose to do. I'm done. So my name is Dr. LadyJ. Do me a favor and share this video because I always say information is power and share these videos because somebody might be empowered and inspired. Maybe one of the pedophiles, or the clergy or whoever it is, maybe one of them might feel empowered and inspired enough to get their little nasty self together and leave the children alone. Children should be off limits. Let them enjoy their life. Stop messing with the children. And take that. Listen, people will put that robe on, that pastor's robe, and that collar, and all the other different stuff that they wear, and they think they're Superman or Superwoman with all of that stuff on, and that they can just say and do whatever they want. Like I said a few minutes ago, I blame some of that on the parishioners because y'all give them a platform that's way too big and you do way too much. They get more service than Jesus got when he was walking on the earth. So some of that stuff, people have to take on themselves. But anyway, y'all, I'm done. Have a good night. Again, watch your children. Make sure you follow the news to see all of the different things that are going on in your area. I'm in Baltimore, so I was talking about something that was going on here, but I am pretty sure that there are situations going on where you live at where children are being molested um, by pedophiles. So we got to stop this. We got to stop this. And thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that I don't have no little ones. Because I don't want to hurt nobody. So thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. So y'all have a good night. Be blessed. And I will talk to you soon. Make sure that you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also share. All right, everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night. And God bless.